Hey Stoic friends, welcome back. You know that sound, that wet, hollow thud of dreams hitting reality. It happened again this morning when your alarm went off and you chose death. Not the honorable kind, the slow rot of potential decomposing inside a living body. Right now, millions of people are bleeding out their greatness in tiny, invisible wounds, and they're calling it life. The Roman Emperor Marcus Aurelius once stood over thousands of corpses after battle, bodies of men who died with swords in their hands, and wrote something that should terrify you. It is not death that a man should fear, but never beginning to live. Those dead warriors lived more in their final seconds than most people live in 70 years of Netflix and excuses. You want to know why you're really here? Not for motivation. You can get that from any Instagram quote over a sunset. You're here because something inside you is screaming that you were meant for more than this soft suicide you call routine. Screaming that somewhere between childhood and credit card debt, you traded your fangs for comfort and your fire for a stable temperature. The Stoics discovered something that modern therapy won't tell you, that productivity gurus can't sell you, that your friends are too polite to mention. Transformation doesn't happen through addition. It happens through violence. Violence against your former self. Violence against the voice that negotiates for weakness. Violence against every comfortable lie you've swallowed like medicine for a disease called ambition. What you're about to receive isn't advice. It's ammunition. 8 laws that successful people guard like nuclear codes because they know most minds aren't built to handle them. These aren't Pinterest quotes to share over morning coffee. These are psychological weapons that will split your life into before and after, that will make your current self unrecognizable to your future self, that will transform discipline from something you practice into something you become. Some of you are already manufacturing exit strategies. Your thumb hovers over the next video. Your mind crafts excuses disguised as priorities. That's your weakness recognizing its executioner and pleading for mercy. But mercy is just another word for mediocrity, and mediocrity is just another word for dying with your music still trapped in your throat. The gladiators had a phrase before entering the arena. "We who are about to die salute you." But they had it backwards. "We who are about to finally live salute you. We who are about to murder our mediocrity salute you. We who are about to discover that discipline isn't punishment, but power salute you." If your soul still has pulse, if your ambition still has teeth, drop this affirmation. I came here to kill who I was. Like this video with the urgency of someone who just discovered they've been poisoned, and this is the antidote. Share it like you're throwing a grenade into someone's comfortable prison. Subscribe and hit notifications, because transformation isn't a one-night stand. It's a daily assassination. Miss nothing. Every word is a bullet meant for your weakness. Now let's get into it. Number 1. The morning massacre. Destroy your first thought before it destroys your day. Your first thought tomorrow will be a liar. It will wear your voice, use your logic, speak your language, but it's not you. It's your personal saboteur dressed in familiar clothing. The Stoics called this the morning demon, and they knew something neuroscience just discovered. Your first conscious thought determines whether you'll be predator or prey for the next 16 hours. The mind that is anxious about future events is miserable. Seneca wrote this after losing everything: wealth, power, position, and discovering he was finally free. Free because he learned the morning massacre, killing your first thought before it metastasizes into your first excuse. Tomorrow, when awareness pierces sleep's funeral, your mind will instantly generate a story. I'm tired. It's cold. 5 more minutes. I deserve rest. These aren't thoughts. They're assassins sent by your lesser self to murder your greater becoming. The morning massacre demands you identify this first thought and execute it without trial, without mercy, without hesitation. Warriors in ancient Sparta would plunge into freezing water at dawn, not for hygiene, but for homicide, killing the weak voice before it could speak. They understood that the mind's first whisper becomes its loudest scream if fed with attention. Your first thought is psychological cancer, and like cancer, it only requires your cooperation to grow. Instead of engaging that first thought, replace it with violent action. Feet hitting floor like thunder, arms stretching like you're tearing through invisible chains. Voice declaring out loud, yes, out loud, let your weakness hear its death sentence. That thought just died. I just began. Your neighbors might think you're insane. Good. Sanity is just consensus weakness. The morning massacre isn't about being reasonable, it's about being unstoppable. It's about teaching your mind that its first offering will always be rejected, that comfort's application will always be denied, that weakness gets no vote in your democracy of one. Watch what happens after a week of morning massacres. Your mind stops sending weak thoughts because it knows they'll be slaughtered on arrival. It starts generating stronger thoughts, warrior thoughts, thoughts that assume victory instead of negotiating for comfort. You're literally reprogramming your neural pathways through psychological violence, becoming someone your current self wouldn't recognize and couldn't defeat. The samurai believed the day was won or lost in the first breath. Not the first hour, not the first coffee, the first breath. Because that breath either feeds your power or feeds your pathetic excuses, and there's no neutral ground in this war. Number 2. Burn your backup plans, like love letters from weakness. You're living a double life, and one of your identities needs to die tonight. There's who you are, and there's who you're becoming, and that gap between them isn't empty space. It's a battlefield littered with the corpses of people who tried to be both. The second law demands something most will never do: complete identity assassination, burning every bridge back to who you were. Cortez conquered an empire with 600 men by doing what seemed insane. He burned his own ships. No retreat, no plan B, no comfortable return to previous failure. His men had 2 choices: conquer or die. That's not historical brutality, that's psychological brilliance. Your backup plans aren't safety nets, they're premeditated surrenders. Every man must choose between 2 pains, the pain of discipline or the pain of regret. When Epictetus said this, he was missing a finger, torn off by his master when he was a slave. He could have used that as an excuse for everything. Instead, he used it as fuel for transformation, understanding that identity isn't about what happened to you, but what you assassinate within you. Tonight, write down every excuse you've ever made, every backup plan, every "if this doesn't work out." Write them like suicide notes from your potential. Then burn them. Actually, burn them. Watch the flames consume your escape routes while you stand there becoming someone who doesn't need them. Your mind will panic, generating reasonable objections about safety and wisdom and prudent planning. That's the sound of your old identity fighting for survival, knowing that without backup plans, it has no power. It knows that a person without retreat becomes psychologically invincible, physically unstoppable, spiritually unkillable. The Vikings had a word, berserker, warriors who fought without armor because armor implied the possibility of defense, and defense implied the possibility of defeat. Your backup plans are psychological armor, and they're making you weak. Every safety net you maintain is a vote for your eventual failure, a confession that you expect to fall. Identity assassination means declaring war on every version of yourself that isn't aligned with your destiny. It means introducing yourself to others with your future accomplishments, not your past failures. It means walking through life like someone who already won, just collecting what's theirs. Stop negotiating between who you were and who you're becoming. Kill the former, feed the latter, burn the ships, salt the earth where your weakness grew. Become someone your problems don't recognize, someone your past can't follow, someone your excuses can't find. Number 3. Bury your addictions before they bury your ambition. Your dopamine is a whore selling itself to the highest bidder. Social media notifications, sugar rushes, pornographic pixels, Netflix binges. Every cheap pleasure you consume is a nail in your ambition's coffin. The third law demands a funeral, but not for a person. For every artificial high that's been keeping you comfortably numb while your dreams decompose in unmarked graves. Marcus Aurelius ruled the known world, yet wrote, "Very little is needed for a happy life. It is all within your way of thinking." He understood what modern neuroscience proves. Your brain cannot distinguish between earned satisfaction and stolen pleasure. Every time you choose instant gratification, you're teaching your mind that effort is optional, that rewards require no conquest. Tonight, conduct the pleasure funeral. List every cheap dopamine source, every app that harvests your attention, every substance that simulates success, every habit that feels like achievement but builds nothing. These aren't innocent pleasures. They're parasites feeding on your potential, leaving you too satisfied to be dangerous, too comfortable to be great. The Spartans had a practice that would horrify modern sensibilities. They would deliberately expose themselves to pain and deprivation, not from masochism, but from mathematics. They calculated that a man who needs nothing cannot be controlled, cannot be broken, cannot be defeated. Your pleasures aren't rewards, they're leashes, and you're both the dog and the master who forgot he's holding the chain. Delete the apps tonight, not tomorrow, tonight. Pour the alcohol down the drain, throw away the junk food, cancel the subscriptions. Feel that panic rising? That's not you. That's your addiction screaming. It knows that without constant stimulation, you'll have to face the raw, unfiltered reality of what you haven't become. And that terror, that withdrawal, that emptiness, that's where transformation lives. When you bury your cheap pleasures, something magnificent happens. Your brain, desperate for dopamine, starts rewarding real achievement. Suddenly, finishing that project feels like cocaine. Completing that workout feels like ecstasy. Building something real becomes your new addiction, except this high doesn't fade. It compounds. The pleasure funeral isn't about becoming a monk. It's about becoming a monster. The kind that gets high on conquest instead of consumption, that feeds on achievement instead of amusement, that finds ecstasy in effort instead of escape. You're not giving up pleasure. You're upgrading from psychological fast food to feasts earned through blood and brilliance. Number 4. The silence surgery. Cut out your tongue before it cuts down your dreams. Your mouth is murdering your future. Every time you announce your intentions, describe your dreams, explain your goals, you're performing psychological masturbation, getting satisfaction from the fantasy instead of the fulfillment. The fourth law demands surgery without anesthesia, cutting out your tongue's ability to steal your thunder. Seneca wrote, "Every new thing excites the tongue, but few excite the hands to work." He watched Rome's greatest minds talk themselves into mediocrity, getting drunk on descriptions of victories they'd never achieve because they'd already tasted the applause through announcement. Starting tomorrow, implement the silent surgery. Tell no one your plans, share no goals, announce no intentions. Your dreams should be like pregnancy in the first trimester, invisible but growing, protected by silence until they're strong enough to survive exposure. Every word you speak about what you'll do is energy stolen from actually doing it. The Navy SEALs have a saying, "Quiet professionals. They don't talk about missions, they complete them. They don't describe courage, they demonstrate it. They understand that the mouth is the mind's escape valve, releasing pressure that should be building toward explosion. Your words are bleeding out your power in drops of declaration instead of tsunamis of achievement. Watch what happens when you stop talking. People will think you've become boring, mysterious, perhaps even broken. Let them. While they're analyzing your silence, you're building your empire. While they're filling air with intentions, you're filling reality with results. Silence isn't empty. It's pregnant with possibility, dense with determination, heavy with havoc about to be unleashed. The ancient assassins had a code: strike from shadow, vanish in silence. Your goals should be assassins, moving unseen until the moment of impact. Your dreams should be submarines, traveling beneath surface conversations until they breach with devastating effect. Your ambitions should be special operations, classified until completion. This isn't about being secretive, it's about being surgical. Every word about your future is a scalpel cutting away its reality. Every conversation about your potential is a confession that you prefer talking to taking action. The silent surgery teaches you that accomplishment needs no announcement, that victory requires no vocabulary, that real warriors let their scars tell their stories. Your friends will probe. Your family will question. Your ego will demand recognition. Give them nothing. Let your results be your response. Let your transformation be your testimony. Let your success be your speech. Number 5. The comfort cremation. Set fire to your safety while you watch. Your comfort zone isn't a sanctuary, it's a crematorium where dreams go to become ashes. The 5th law demands you become the arsonist of your own safety, watching it burn while you stand close enough to feel the heat, understanding that Phoenix mythology isn't about the bird. It's about you burning your old nest before it becomes your grave. What is quite unlooked for is more crushing in its effect, and unexpectedness adds to the weight of a disaster, Seneca wrote, after losing everything to Nero's madness. He learned that comfort doesn't protect you from catastrophe, it just ensures you're unprepared when flames finally find you. This week, choose your biggest comfort and cremate it. That relationship that's life support for your loneliness. That job that's palliative care for your poverty mindset. That routine that's been embalming you while you're still breathing. Don't ease out, burn out. Don't transition, detonate. The comfort cremation demands spectacular destruction of ordinary safety. Ancient warriors would burn their own villages before battle, knowing that men with no home to return to fight like demons. Your comfort is your village, and it's making you weak. Every pillow of predictability, every blanket of familiarity, every mattress of mediocrity, they're not protecting you, they're preparing you for a funeral where you're both the deceased and the only mourner. The cremation isn't gradual, you don't slowly reduce comfort, you incinerate it instantly. Quit the safe job without another lined up, end the mediocre relationship without a backup. Move cities without a plan. Your mind will generate 10,000 reasons why this is insanity. That's exactly why it's necessary. Sanity is just collective cowardice, and you're about to become beautifully insane. Feel that terror when you imagine life without your safety nets? That's not fear. That's your potential recognizing it's finally free. Comfort is a cage with golden bars, and you've been both prisoner and warden, too attached to the familiar metal to notice you've been holding the keys all along. When you cremate your comfort, you discover something terrifying and beautiful. You're indestructible, not because you can't be hurt, but because hurt becomes irrelevant when you've already chosen to burn. You can't threaten someone who's already lit themselves on fire. You can't defeat someone who's turned their own destruction into their strategy. Number 6. Amputate the humans who feed on your future. There are vampires in your phone contacts. They don't drink blood. They drain dreams, feast on your focus, gorge themselves on your potential while calling it friendship. The sixth law demands something most will call heartless, the systematic execution of every relationship that's secretly a sabotage operation against your greatness. The key is to keep company only with people who uplift you, whose presence calls forth your best, Epictetus taught. But he left out the violence required, that keeping good company means executing bad company, that multiplication requires subtraction, that sometimes love means letting go with enough force to never return. This isn't about being cruel. This is about recognizing that some people are psychological cancer, and cancer doesn't respond to negotiation. That friend who mocks your ambition while disguising it as humor. That family member who weaponizes guilt every time you grow beyond their comfort. That partner who needs you small to feel big. They're not relationships, they're assassinations in slow motion. Tonight, conduct the relationship execution. Write down every name that makes you feel smaller, weaker, guiltier for wanting more. These aren't bad people, they're incompatible with your becoming. They're allergic to your evolution. They need the old you to survive, and the old you needs to die for the new you to breathe. The samurai had a practice called social seppuku, cutting ties with such precision that reconnection became impossible. No explanations, no negotiations, no dramatic goodbyes that invite persuasion, just surgical removal, like amputating a limb that's developed gangrene, because that's what toxic relationships are, gangrene of the soul, spreading their decay through your entire system. Your phone will feel lighter, your inbox will feel emptier, your weekends will feel lonelier. Good. Loneliness is just your potential's way of making room for people who deserve your becoming. Every vampire you execute creates space for warriors. Every parasite you remove makes room for partners in conquest. Some will call you cold, ruthless, changed. They're right. You are changing, and change requires choosing who gets to witness your transformation and who gets left in the museum of who you used to be. Not everyone deserves access to your evolution. Some people are meant to be chapters, not entire books. Some relationships are meant to be lessons, not lifetimes. Number 7. Devour your defeats like a starving wolf. Your failures are rotting in the basement of your mind, decomposing into fear, fermenting into hesitation. The 7th law demands you become a cannibal of your own catastrophes, feasting on failures like a wolf that's learned to hunt its own hunger. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "While Rome burned." The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. He understood that failure isn't feedback, it's fuel, but only if you have the stomach to digest destruction. Tomorrow conduct the failure feast. List every defeat, every rejection, every moment that broke you. But don't list them like victims, list them like ingredients, because that's what failures are, recipes for resilience, but only if you stop treating them like poison and start consuming them like power. The Stoics had a practice modern psychology would call insane. They would deliberately fail at something daily, get rejected, lose deliberately, embarrass themselves publicly, not from masochism, but from mastery. They understood that a person who's already failed has nothing left to fear, and a person with nothing to fear has everything to gain. Your failures aren't monuments to inadequacy. They're meals waiting to be metabolized into muscle, but most people let them rot, generating the stench of regret instead of the strength of resilience. They carry failures like corpses instead of consuming them like communion. Starting tomorrow, celebrate one failure daily. Failed at something? Good. Feast on it. Learn its flavor. Digest its lessons. Excrete the waste and keep the wisdom. Become someone who hunts failure instead of hiding from it, who sees defeat as dessert instead of disaster. Number 8. The death rehearsal. Practice your ending until living becomes urgent. You will die, not eventually, constantly, with every second you spend scrolling instead of building, watching instead of doing, dreaming instead of becoming. The 8th law demands the ultimate practice, rehearsing your death until living becomes an emergency. Let us prepare our minds as if we'd come to the very end of life, Seneca instructed. He performed death meditation nightly, visualizing his final breath, his last thought, his ultimate regret. Not from depression, but from desperation. Desperate to live before living became impossible. Tonight, write your eulogy. Not the pretty lies people tell at funerals, but the brutal truth of what you'll leave unfinished. Write about the books unwritten, the battles unfought, the words unspoken. Feel that crushing weight of potential that will die with you. That's not morbid, that's motivating. The gladiators would paint their faces white before entering the arena, the color of death, declaring themselves already dead so fear couldn't kill them twice. You must become that gladiator, except your arena is existence, and your opponent is the clock that's already killed billions of dreams, just like yours. Practice your death rehearsal every night. Lie down, close your eyes, feel your heart stopping. Watch your dreams flatline. Experience the terror of leaving nothing behind but consumption and comfort. Then open your eyes and realize you've been given something most corpses would kill for, another chance. When you rehearse death daily, life becomes violent with urgency. Every sunrise becomes a resurrection. Every breath becomes rebellion against the grave. Every action becomes a declaration that you refuse to be buried with your music still inside. You came here as one person. You're leaving as another, or you're leaving as the same person, just entertained for 20 minutes. The choice, and it's always a choice, is whether these laws become your constitution or just another YouTube video you consumed between comfortable moments. The Stoics understood that transformation isn't a decision, it's a declaration of war. War against comfort, war against weakness, war against every version of yourself that isn't worthy of your dreams. Tomorrow morning, you'll wake up to the same bed, the same life, the same excuses. But you won't be the same person, not if you implement even one of these laws with the violence they demand. You could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do and say and think. Marcus Aurelius wrote in his private journal, never expecting anyone would read it. He was writing to himself, reminding himself that urgency isn't anxiety, it's accuracy about existence. Like this video if you're ready for war. Share it with someone who needs to hear that their comfort is killing them. Subscribe because this channel is about transformation, not motivation. Comment your declaration. Which law will you implement first? Remember, discipline isn't something you have, it's something you become. Your old self just heard its death sentence. Your new self just heard its battle cry. Choose which one you feed. Declare this now. I am the law. I am the discipline. I am unstoppable.